Helps if I put my mic on. So the club that's ruining the Premier League was the only one that was flying the flag for the Premier League last night. You're welcome. Good morning, 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 Arsenal universe. How are we all this morning? Welcome to another edition of the Big Arsenal Breakfast Show. I am your host, Edwin Ash, and I'm very happy this morning, as I'm sure you are. I hope you're happy. Well, another great night, another great night. I have to touch wood. We've been going for 2 weeks now. We've been going live every morning for 2 weeks. And touch wood, I've not had to do a meltdown special. Long may it continue. I'm sure it's coming around the corner at some point. But so far, it's all been great. It's been easy for me to get out of bed in the morning and to come to you and say, guys, how are we feeling? And I hope we're feeling absolutely wunderbar, as they say. Auf Deutsch. Yes, good morning. That was good, wasn't it? That was really good fun. A professional performance from the Arsenal last night, but I think we will get to that ever so shortly. Just before we do get to that, of course, I would just like to say, if you feel inclined, if you would be so kind as to like and subscribe. I know we hear this a lot from other people, but to be honest with you, it makes a difference. It really makes a difference. We're trying to reach more Gooners. We're trying to reach out to more of you. We want you more involved in the show, more discourse. This is what this show is really about. A lot of other shows, they do their thing. They're amazing. They chat to each other. They have really good vibes, and we love all those shows. But this show, what we're trying to do is get all of you giving your opinions, your big ass opinions. We want them. Get in the comments. Get in contact with us. It's at Big Arse Breakfast on Insta and on TikTok. It's at Big Arse Brecky on X, and it's at bigarsbreakfast.bsky.social. So please do get involved, and we'll get you on the show. We'll have your opinions. We want to hear your opinions. We have a podcast too. We also have the podcast as well. The podcast it normally drops about 10 minutes after the production team have uploaded it to Acast. So yeah, it's available on Apple, Spotify, the other ones like Pod World and Podly Doodoo, and that other big one, Downloady Audio Poddy, those big ones. But Apple and Spotify definitely, and the other ones I can never remember because I never use them. But if you use them, let me know. What's the difference, by the way? These ones, like, there's loads of other podcast like places, and I haven't discovered why people go there. If you go there, let me know why. Is it better sound quality or something? Let me know. It'd be good to know. But yeah, get in touch. Listen, like, subscribe, do your thing. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will get into today's show, but not before we have a little chat about what else happened last night. It is confirmed. We obviously beat Leverkusen. Sporting did a bit of a madness by their standards. They absolutely walloped Bodo Glimt 5-0, overcoming a 3-0 first leg deficit. That was quite impressive, wasn't it? So we'll be facing them. Jock will go back to his old club. Hopefully he'll score 25 goals, and it'll be a lovely, lovely story. In other news, Cheatsies, they lost 3-0 to PSG. Oh, boy. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Sorry. That's, with all the news that's been going on around them over the last couple of days. Do you know what? I have to say, we might come to that later in the week because there's been a lot of discussion about that, how it skewed the Premier League, how it affected other teams. Obviously, the asterisks have got to be all over those trophies. Asterisks everywhere. They might as well scrub out Chelsea cheatsies and just put asterisks all over it. I mean, even it is so cheaty. It is so badly cheaty that even Tottenham missed out on a trophy. That's how badly they cheated. It's extraordinary. Anyway, enough about them. We might cover that. At a later date. But we got a lot to get through today about Arsenal. And then just rounding off last night's Champions League games. Manchester City, allegedly, also in the cheat league. They are out. They are out. They lost at home to Real Madrid 2-1. Now I have to put my hands up. I was like, I think they can do that. I think they can do. I think that Man City can turn that around. And did they? Did they fuck? No, they didn't. Bernardo Silva got sent off after 20 minutes, and then after that, it was just a big losing battle. I didn't see too much in terms of the highlights. I need to catch up because I still, hey, I'm a dedicated guy, guys. Eddie is up late preparing the show. You probably see the bags under my eyes. It was a late one last night, trying to get cram in all the goodness, all the Arsenal good, cramming it in like vitamins into some energy drink that really probably doesn't have that much good for you. But this is good for you. This is definitely, don't get me wrong, Big Arse Breakfast Show is definitely good for you. So I missed all of the fallout from that, but maybe I'll have a little look tomorrow. I don't know. Or maybe I'll post some stuff during the day about it. Keep your eyes on the socials. They're all down here. So yeah. What does that mean for us, by the way? City going out. What does that mean for us? It means they get some rest ahead of the big clash in the Premier League. But there's kind of like conflicting opinions on this. Is like, do you want to be in this kind of groove when you're going into these big games? Is it that much of an advantage? If Arsenal, touchwood, keep up their really good form and they keep progressing in all these competitions, touchwood, if Arsenal keep progressing, is that more valuable being in the zone than being out of the zone and potentially only maybe one or two things left to play for? Get in the comments. Let us know. Get in the chat. Let us know. We want to hear from you. Okay. Time to do a little bit of a match reaction. After all, it is an almost instant match reaction show. So, Arsenal 2 by Leverkusen 0. An absolute thundercrunch from Eze. That goal was so ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. I had to stop making notes. I mean, I could not believe what he did. It was absolutely stunning. And then Declan Rice's, I mean, at first glance, I don't know if you saw it as well. At first glance, I thought, oh, tidy finish that. Tidy finish that. When you look at it again, from that reverse angle, with the little curly whirly off the post, oh, is that as good as Eze's goal in a kind of different technique way? Probably not. But look, it's worth a discussion, right? Lineups. Okay, so a couple of surprises here. Certainly for me, I don't know how you felt about this, but Raya White, Ben White, is alive and well. He is alive and well. There was a lot of talk over the weeks that we hadn't seen Win the Dog for a while. And people were starting to get nervous. But Win the Dog made a cameo appearance in that really, really nice Mother's Day video with Mosquera and his mother. I don't know if you saw it. It's a tearjerker. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I consider myself to be a very rugged, stiff upper lip kind of guy. When you scratch the veneer of Eddie Ash, what you find underneath the veneer is more veneer. You know what I mean? But even I was a bit like, oh my God, it's so sweet. They flew his mum over and everything. Oh my God. It was really sweet. Win the Dog made an appearance. And then we were just like, is Ben White still alive? And he is. And he was. And he started playing. And he was okay. He was off the pace. We'll come to that. I think he was a bit off the pace, but he did a good job. We'll come to that. So it was Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, Rice, Zubimendi, Eze, Saka. I think he needs a rest. We'll come to that. Trossard made it. So his training during the week, him being ready for... he was in training last week ahead of the Leverkusen first leg. And it would appear to me that essentially what they were doing was going, you know what? Sit out the Everton game. We'll have you in for the Champions League because you're really effective. And he was. And Gyökeres started up front. Havertz not quite there to start the match. Let's have a look at some match stats. A little match stat preview. Excuse me. Arsenal 2, Leverkusen 0. Goals 2-0. Shots 21-9. We're seeing that go up over the last couple of games. You see what we're doing there? It's gone up a bit, isn't it? It's gone up a bit. We're at the business end. Take some shots, guys. Shots to target 12. The Leverkusen goalkeeper, whose name I've forgotten, was it Blaswich? He was making saves out of his ass, wasn't he? I mean, there was a point. I'm sure we were all at some point going, "Yeah, he's gonna pull off one of those nights, isn't he?" No, he didn't, because there's a possession. Well, we were very, very happy to concede some possession, weren't we? We were very happy to concede some possession. So the possession was 41.6% to Leverkusen's 58.4, 319 passes to their 469. Now that was skew whiffed a little bit by the second half because at the beginning they did try to wrestle a bit control, but when we got the second goal, we were just like, yeah, let's just sit in a bit now, boys. Let's just see this out. Long passes, 35 to 46, and corners one was 10 to 8. On the defensive side, one offside to us, zero offsides to Leverkusen, 9 interceptions to their 10, 17 tackles to their 14, 26 clearances to their 18, 4 fouls conceded to their 8, 0 yellow cards for us, 1 for them. It was played in good spirits game, wasn't it? Let's be honest. And 0 red cards each. Now, player ratings. Now, if you're new to the show, what do we do with player ratings? This is what we do. We take the FOT mob player ratings, which is a statistical algorithm. It tracks over 300 live Opta stats. Why do you do that, Eddie? I hear you screaming at your screens. Why? Because we at the Big Arse Breakfast Show like to start off a kind of generalized sort of objective style base, but we do entreat you to get in contact and give us your player ratings because those stats don't show a lot of things. They don't show the emotion of the moment. They don't show the action that doesn't necessarily have a stat or an impetus that doesn't necessarily have a stat. But it's a good way to sort of go, do you know what? This player didn't play as badly as we thought in terms of technical level. And I'll give you an example. So Raya was an 8.3, Hincapié 7.9, Gabriel 7.7, Saliba 7.4, White was a 6.7. I think that was fair. Declan Rice, man of the match, 8.7. Zubamendi, 7.5. Now, Bukayo Saka, I didn't think he had one of his best games. I think he's struggling out there. It's not an agenda. I love the guy. I feel like he needs a rest. I feel like he needs a physical and mental rest. I thought it was going to be Madueke last night because he put the shits up with them last week. But he got an 8.4. Statistically, he was good on the pitch. And it got me thinking when I saw it. It's like, yeah, I suppose he was quite efficient. I suppose he did draw some fouls. His decision making inside the box is someone needs to reset that program he's got and just reboot it because normally he's so quick of thought. But it looks to me like he's overthinking things. And I think that I really think we need to have a little think about resting him. Eze was an 8.4, obviously. Trossard was an 8. Gyökeres is 6.9. I actually didn't think Gyökeres had his worst game last night, but we'll come to that. The boss. What did the boss have to say after the game? Speaking to TNT, he said, we started the game so well. No, that wasn't speaking in TNT. That's the other slide. Sorry. Speaking in the post-match news conference, he said, we started the game so well and we were a threat from every angle. The keeper kept them in the game and we needed a magical moment from Ebbs to give us the lead. Then in the second half, Declan's action gave us the opportunity to win the game, and we had 4 or 5 situations where we should have scored a third, but overall, we fully deserved to win and to be in the quarterfinals. Ebbs is playing every 3 days. He has rhythm, he has an understanding with the players, and this goal is why he is here. He's building an understanding with all of them, and when you start to make key moments in games, that lifts your confidence. Declan was immense. Him and the whole team. The manner they go into every ball and the passion they show is remarkable. And then straight after the game, speaking to TNT, on Declan's goal, he said, when you talk about technique, the ball just sounded boff. The ball just sounded boff. Sounds like something a rugby fan. Oh, I'll tell you, the ball just sounded boff. And the reaction of all the players around you tells you about it. That's why he's here. It's the Champions League when you have 4 or 5 chances, and if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, it gets frustrating. It was an incredible moment from Declan to finish the game. We want to try and get more chances like that for people because we have got a lot of players that can do that. Yes, we do it more, please, Arsenal. On of his substitutions were related to Sunday's Carabao Cup final. Cheeky little question. He said it was good to rotate and to get those players in, but I had certain players that needed to come off because of the amount of time they are playing. That's why they came off. Nothing to do with Sunday. Lies. Lies, boss. There's no way there's nothing to do with Sunday. You're a sneaky little tet-tets, aren't you? Okay. Excuse me. So let's go through the game. Bit by bit. I made some notes. I'll try and rattle through these. I just think it's good to relive some of those moments, especially some of the moments that we forget. Some of those butt-clenching moments we think, oh, God, I'm tight. I thought Leverkusen had early intent from the second minute. They got a corner straight away. And immediately I was like, oh, my God, they scored from a corner last time. They scored from a corner last time. They're going to do it again. Oh, my God, they didn't. In the 8th minute, we worked the ball to Saka. It was our first corner, and Gabriel probably should score at the near post. It hits his shoulder. In the 11th, we had some nice play from Zubi. He brought the full ball forward, didn't he? He really started pushing, going direct. The ball got cleared for another corner. Eze floated one in, but Gabriel couldn't get onto it at the back post. Trossard had a chance from a quick throw-in. He dragged his shot wide. We had a well-worked move from White and Saka. Do you remember those days? The White and Saka combination, the whacker combination. Well, they had that. And the ball basically broke to Trossard, who shot was saved for a corner. So we had some good early possession. We were getting some good probing possession at that point, I felt. We had a lovely inside ball to Eze, from Eze to Trossard. And his cross went out for a corner. Saka puts it on Gabriel's head again, and it goes over from like 3 yards out. Then we got that handball on the left-hand side of the penalty area, and Rice had a pop at goal, like straight down the keeper's throat, but it was a real fizzer. And then there was this moment in the 26th minute, Grimaldo got played in, and there was an amazing recovery from Hincapié. I mean, that guy, when they talk about him running through brick walls, he really does, doesn't he? They ought to get rid of sledgehammers. They ought to get rid of those giant things that knock buildings down and just go, Hincapié, there's a challenge for you on there. Bosh, wall down. There was a mix-up between Leverkusen, and Saka fired one towards the top corner, if you remember, another solid save. And at that point, I'm starting to think, we're not going to score today, are we? Not going to score. And then another good chance for Trossard. He was too close to the keeper. The keeper got his foot to it, if you remember. It was a great save. And then the corner came to Eze, who does that Dalsim leg high up that really cuts across it, bounces down. It's going on target with a bit of fizz, but it was blocked. And then some good pressing in the corner. Got Arsenal a corner. It led to that massive scramble where no Arsenal player could get a toe on it. There's like 20 Arsenal players in there. Statistically, that may be incorrect, but there was a lot of Arsenal players in there, and no one could get a foot on it. No one could go bing. And then came the moment. Now let me just clear my throat. Then came the moment that we've all been waiting for. It was Eze with one of those sorts of goals that makes you question your life decisions. It did me anyway. It's like, why am I not a Premier League footballer? Why can I not do that? It was an absolute stunner. Someone's in the chat. Oh, wow. Good morning to you, sir or madam. Oh, that is a handle. I'm going to struggle with it. I've got what? It's at YXNG Ahmed, if I got that right. And he's put, or she, quad is on. Yes. Ahmed, until you tell me how to correct your name from your handle, I'm going to just keep calling you Ahmed. Is that right? Is that cool? Quad is on. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, young man. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us this morning. Stick around. We've got some good stuff coming up. Quad is on. I hope so. Is it on, Ahmed? Is it on? Don't sell me dreams, man. Don't sell me dreams. Is it on? So yeah, Eze's goal, absolute thunder blast, wasn't it? And literally my notes here are just, oh my God, that's all I could put. My jaw hit the floor, but it was an absolute screamer. 40th minute, Jock holds the ball up well, which I thought he did quite well throughout the night. He did it a little bit better than he has been. He seems to be getting better at that. He got fouled on the edge of the area. I thought surely Eze has to have a pop at goal, but they went short and it came to nothing, which was a little bit frustrating. And then that was the first half. It was a good first half. Blaswich had kept the minute. He was really busy. We worked some good openings. Trossard was the most shot happy, but Eze was obviously that standout moment when he broke the fucking net. And I was just a little bit concerned about Kafana. He was making some smart runs. I think if we kept playing sensible, then we were going to win that game. Ahmed has been back in the chat and he said, ignore the first bits, referring to his handle. It's Ahmed. Ahmed, thank you. Thank you, my son. How you doing this morning, Ahmed? Thank you for joining us. Stick around. What was your opinions on the game, Ahmed? What did you think? Tell us. What did you think of all of it? Was it a professional performance? I thought it was a professional performance. I was nervous, but just kind of like normal nervous, silly nervous. Nervous and like there's nothing really about that game that said you should have been nervous because I thought we really controlled it well. But you just can't help but think, have we still got one more bozo moment in us? Turns out we didn't. So I'm going to rattle through the second half notes, then we'll come to your big ass opinions. I thought Saka's decision making was a bit off. I said that before. I think he needs a break. I keep saying that. We turned over the ball high in the 52nd minute. Gyökeres hit a low shot from distance. You remember it wasn't. There was nothing else on. He had a pop, didn't quite catch it well, but I'm glad he had the impetus to go for it. We saw some great battling from Trossard in the 54th minute to break down a threat on the edge of our box. I put that in there because it just shows his work rate. There was a sort of situation where Leverkusen were moving the ball around. Trossard just would not give it up. And he eventually turned it out for us to get a corner. Leverkusen had started to get some good possession at that point. But they worked an area where they got a cross in, but it was really tame and it was rising near post. 57 minute, Trossard delayed a pass to Eze on the edge of the box. He just needed to pass it for a whack. That frustrated me a bit. There was that opportunity. They could have really wrapped up the game by them, really. Great from Jock and Saka on the right-hand side in the 67-minute. Jock crosses from the byline. He gets right down to the byline, whips it across for a good block and went out for a corner. And then Gyökeres was almost through again. He got a deflected shot for another corner. And then goal. Rice, Bebe. I'm going to break off here for a second because Ahmed is back in the chat. And he said, Eze, business end of the season has arrived. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. I said this on one of my posts yesterday because everyone keeps talking about Eze only comes out in the sun. He only comes out in the sun. Well, I'm here for it if that's what he does. But it does beg the question, is Eze a reverse vampire? Is that what it is? Is he the opposite? He can't go out in darkness? Is that what we've got going on there? So answers on a postcard or in the chat. Yeah, the goal from Rice. I mean, it looked even better than what I first thought when we first saw it. It's that lovely little curly kiss off the post. Ooh. And he was certainly man of the match. There's no two ways about it. And then in the 68th, and now we got like a cacophony of chances throughout that game where we just should have gone 3 or 4-0 up. In the 68th minute, Eze broke 3-on-3. Could have gone for Saka, but he turned back on his left. It was a smart little bit of deception, but actually he turned it back towards trouble. It was clever. He pulled it back to his left, but it got blocked. And then came the changes. Now this part really got me enthusiastic, like genuinely got me enthusiastic. On comes Norgard, Mosquera, and Nelly. For White, Zubi and Trossard, right? And then Eze had to come off, what I think would be a precautionary knock, and Havertz came and replaced him. Then Schick came on for Leverkusen. But the point I wanted to make here was Norgard, Mosquera and Nelly coming on for, who was it? Zubi, Trossard and White. It just highlighted for me the smart business we did in summer. We really did smart business. It was exactly the sort of game state that you could bring on 3 very experienced players who, touch wood, you didn't think would let you down. And I just thought, God, our squad is really good. I know we haven't seen much of Norgard, but he's a good player. And I just thought, yeah, well done, Arsenal, touch wood. Hopefully we keep them all fit and we go on to glory. What say you, Ahmed? Are we going on to glory? Well, you did say in the chat, the quad is on. On Ben White, I thought he had some good positional play. Look, the minutes aren't there. He's not up to scratch yet. His attacking elements weren't quite where they were. but it was very good to see him come into a big Champions League game with so little games played and perform at a level that said, "You're not terrible, well played." I think that's what he was. It's just like, "Well played, mate. Well done. You didn't make any F ups. You aren't quite the Ben White of 2 seasons ago, but we've got to get those minutes into him. He's going to be so important in this run-in." We had that goal ruled out in the 71st minute for a handball. Yeah, no arguments with that. It was. And he was pulling the guy's shirt, Havertz. Good ball in from Leverkusen, got cut out for a corner by Rice. Really good covering from Rice. And then there was another near post clearance from Gyökeres. He's getting really good at those near post clearances. He was worth the 60 million alone for that. Then we got a corner in from Leverkusen where Saliba nearly scored no goal. That was a shit the bed moment. And then we broke away in the 75th. We had a 4-on-4, wasted that. Got to do better with these transitions. We really need to do better with these transitions. It was really, really frustrating. But look, great night still. Saka hits one from a wide angle. If you remember, we got the ball worked out for him wide. And he smacked one on the angle, straight down the keeper's throat. We got a corner from it. Quansah had a chance just before that, if you remember. Sort of had this glancing, tame header wide. But again, Leverkusen were probing. We were equal to it. They were probing. And I don't think they were a bad team. And then there was a really, really great ball in from Leverkusen in the 79th minute where there was a smart header away from Gabby doing Gabby things, just like, oh, there's a ball coming. That's mine. I'm gobbling it up. And then in the 85th, Leverkusen had a shot that they dragged wide. Now, 87th minute, Raya, Kafana. It was an unreal save. It was a save that prevented the last 10 minutes. You know those last 10 minutes that we have with Arsenal when we're only one goal up? It was a we prevent the shit the pants moment. I prevent the shit the pants moment. My name is David Raya. I prevent shit panting moments. Because it was one hell of a save from Kafana. And thank God he did it, because I could not bear another nervy finish to another Arsenal game. MLS came on for a little cameo for Gyökeres, who looked really pissed off because he knew there were still goals out in there that game. There were goals from there last night that just weren't quite clicking into positions where they could put him in. But he knows it. I think overall, though, he battled really, really well. He really battled well. It wasn't perfect, but it was a good performance from him. And all in all, a great night's work, wasn't it? A great night's work. I thought they all played well. Professional performance, squad depth shining through. Right. That's the game. Now let's have a little look at what everyone else has been saying, including you. Get in the comments. Apart from the two penalties you gave away, way too dry. Yes. Oh, I've already got one on screen now. Oopsie. Silly boy, Eddie. Yes, the sound of that massive fart is basically the signal. It's like the bat signal, but for bottom burps. I don't know why I've done it. It was funny at the time, but it relates to your big arse opinions. And we've got plenty of big arse opinions right now. I've been having a look across the social verse, seeing what Guna's been saying. Daniel, I like this one from Daniel. Danny is scouting. Who is a scout? Go and check him out. He's at Danny is scouting. Declan Rice is a shout for best player in the world this season, not only due to what he does on the pitch and his influence in the best team in the world, but for his relentless mentality, commitment, and athleticism too. He never stops running, never gets subdued to tiredness. He's legendary. Yes, Danny, I wholeheartedly agree with all of those sentiments. Mentality, commitment, athleticism, running, and he's pretty skillful. He just makes things happen. Those bursting runs, he is outstanding. Flowers to him. Thank you, Danny. Charles Watts. Yes, Charles Watts of Inside Arsenal, of course. Charles Watts, journalist, has said we're in Eze season, as Ahmed has said in the chat as well. He did say Eze business end of the season has arrived. I think we're all in agreement, and I've already done my reverse vampire joke, so I won't do it again. I'll save you that one. Alex at Alex Moneypenny hosted a different knock. Have I got that right? Lovely guy. Great tweets. And here's one of them. Gyökeres looks so much better than a few months ago. He does. Much more lithe at the pace of the game, looks less stiff, hold up players better, and feels like he's willing to go wide more and look for teammates to make things happen. Yeah, I agree. That's what I noticed in the game as well. And I still don't think he's quite there. I need to. I'll be honest. I haven't had a look at his stats for how often he gave the ball away and how often he held it up. From the eye test, it was better. It was better, and hopefully will continue to get better. And maybe with Havertz coming back, with a little bit more rest and rotation, maybe we start to see a little bit more from Gyökeres as well. And lastly, this comes from a rival fan. This comes from a Real Madrid fan. A Real Madrid fan. And there were quite a few of these online last night. I have to say, I just picked one. Other fans talking about Arsenal. And more at MOORE, more as in like Roger Moore. Hello, Mane Bene. At Moore, RMFC said, "This is the Arsenal you all call boring? Incredible level of jealousy, that is." Mm-hmm. See? That's all I want to say on that. And instant karma take of the day.
Instant karma take of the day.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the instant karma take of the day. If you're new to this section, I'll try and explain it to you. It's up on the screen. If you're listening on the podcast, it's really a visual gag. You know, sorry about that. You get more if you watch, guys. You just get a little bit more when you're watching on the YouTubes. But you know, the podcast is great as well. Instant karma take of the day. It's just the take that just levels things off, or just has a nice solid point. Isn't too rage baity. Isn't too angry. Sack the board. We hate everyone. And isn't too we're going to win everything. It's just something somewhere in the middle. And today's instant karma take of the day comes from Michael Timms. He said, "Buzzing with tonight, obviously, and it's another example of how us playing, in quotes, awful football is pretty dumb and a simplistic view. Surely it's quite obvious now that we just adapt to our football depending on how the opposition set up. In the Premier League, win by smaller margins, more attritional, not as fluid, etc., because opposition on the whole are more resolute and set up more defensively. In the Champions League, win by larger margins, opposition teams playing more open football, meaning we can be more expansive and not have to revert to set pieces." Yes, we're feeling it, we're seeing it, we're knowing it, and Michael Timms there has summed that up perfectly. The Premier League is a different beast. That is not to say that Premier League is better. I'm not necessarily going to get into that discussion, especially as all of our Premier League teams last night, but Arsenal got twatted, yeah? So I'm not going to get into that discussion, but the Premier League is different. There are different performances. You don't have to win in the Premier League. Teams might just need a draw off you, right? It's a different sport. It's like rugby league and rugby union. It is not, and that is a terrible comparison, Eddie. Don't ever do that again. But you get the point, okay? And that's a great point from Michael Timms. Ladies and gentlemen, you are fully up to date for today. We will be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Thanks for joining us. Please do us a favor. Just do us a little favor, right? If you're not annoyed by me yet, just hit the like and subscribe buttons or wherever they are, wherever they exist. Get involved with the channel. We're trying to reach more gunners. As I said, we've been going about 2.5 weeks now. We love the support you've been giving us. There have been some really nice things said, and it does affect my soul a little bit. So thank you. So really appreciate that. But do like and subscribe. And whatever you're doing today, what is it? It's hump day. So we're halfway there, right? We're halfway there to the end of the week. And yeah, I hope it's a good one. I will be somewhere at work trying to watch the goals again. Might even sneak in the Max Dowman one. But we are here every day, 7 a.m. for your viewing and listening pleasure. You can get the podcast, which will drop in about 20 minutes as well if you want to re-listen. And yeah, have a great day. Get your ass in gear.